coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows the good guys.
Final segment. I'll be back tomorrow live, 11 a.m. Central, 12 noon Eastern. The websites are Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. If you're an Infowars.com audio listener or station listener out there, Jason Burmis has got 3 hours coming up for callers we don't get to. You can hold over for him if you'd like. Look, they are drugging the water supply. That's on record. The public is being toxically sedated because we're armed. And if they were going to do this, they had to drug us. The average male, regardless of what color you are, wants to be free. Wants your family to be free. That's what your ancestors stood up for. But over in Thailand, they hadn't had a chance to drug the water yet. But it didn't matter because they're not armed. So they're fighting for 2 months, troops with slingshots. I want to play this quick ITN one-minute report. You can go up to Infowars.com in our article, Thai Military Slaughter of Red Shirts Intensifies. We have a whole bunch of videos and news article boil downs there that I believe Kurt Nimmo put this together. But you can see them fighting the troops and winning in some cases, though they're now going to be basically assaulted and overtaken with slingshots. Now imagine the American people with all their firearms. We want to avert that happening. Here it is.
With government protesters vowing to defend their fortified camp in Bangkok, the violence in Thailand is showing no signs of coming to an end. Die-hard demonstrators clashed with government troops again on Saturday, following 2 days of violence that's left dozens of people dead. Explosions echoed overnight. As morning came, it was quieter, but plumes of smoke could still be seen, dominating the skyline. The red shirt protesters began their latest campaign to oust the government in March, saying it came to power illegitimately and doesn't care about the poor. The latest violence erupted on Thursday after the red shirt's military strategist was shot and seriously injured, apparently by a sniper. Around 10,000 demonstrators have barricaded themselves inside Bangkok's main shopping district. The media's declared the area a war zone.
Well, there you go. So the images of people fighting grenades, RPGs, and machine guns with 7-Eleven cheap slingshots, not high-powered slingshots. A wrist rocket is powerful with ball bearings. And they've now said the military is going to go in and kill these tens of thousands of people, and they're staying, men, women, and children. That's how much they want freedom. But our media is basically calling them terrorists. Well, I guess the people at Tiananmen Square were terrorists, too. Our government is illegitimate and aligned with thugs and dictatorships, period. Mark in Texas, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Boy, I'm glad to be on here today, Alex. You've talked about so much good stuff. Boy, I tell you, it's not just you, it's people, too. And I have some things I'm curious about, several questions about some of the bank stuff that I'm trying to dig around in. I don't have as much time, so I'd like to ask you. And first, one thing I wanted to be thankful for the fellow that you had the other day, George Humphrey, I think it was.
Yes.
How he said it's a good time for us to be, we've got these opportunities, and I'm getting something myself that's helped me get motivated. And I'm wondering if I have a chance to read it, I'd like to read it. If not, I'll just share and see what everybody thinks that is said in it.
How long is it?
How it might help us. It might be a little long for today, but I'll try it if you want me to.
Well, just give us the synopsis.
Okay. Well, I'll just say this: I was wondering what people might, for help and motivation, is to see what the Lord, the big guy that you and George and everybody talks about, is saying in this Hebrews 9 scripture in verses 13 through 17.
Yeah, go ahead and read it. I know it well. Read it.
Okay, that's pretty long, but okay. First thing he says is, for if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of heifers sprinkling unclean sanctified them to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God? And it says, for this cause he is a mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for redemption of transgressions that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance and inheritance. Then it says, for where a testament is, there must also of necessity be the death of the testator, for a testament is of force after men are dead, otherwise it is no strength at all while the testator still liveth. And, I'm just wondering about, my grandfather just passed, my mom wrote a will, and she's a testator of her will, and I'm looking, well, wow, we'd have something to go back. Do we need any preachers or lawyers to tell us what a will, is it still effective in 2010? 2 years ago or 2 centuries ago, this century, does that go out of date or what?
No, it doesn't. I appreciate your call, Mark. Those are interesting points. Ronnie in Texas, you're on the air.
Thank you, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here, Ronnie. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, wanted to say that there's a headline we ought to hear in Austin. There's medical tyranny going on. The mayor and the entire city council admits poisoning us on purpose. This was the last city council meeting I was allowed to attend, and we asked them. They get great information each and every meeting, and so
the bags of fluoride they're putting in the water say cause organ failure, deadly poison, and they dump it in the water.
And we give them the facts, the facts each and every time, and so we asked them this time, who among you drinks this fluoridated tap water? And not a single one of them admitted to it. So they're doing it on purpose. They're getting whatever kickbacks they get, and they take taxpayer tax dollars and waste it on them.
Yeah, we pay $1.3 million a year for toxic waste to be dumped in the water. I appreciate your call. We got the city contracts last year, and maybe more this year. No, I know. The problem is, even if you don't drink fluoridated water, when you bathe, it goes through the skin, you breathe it. And the city council's like, we're medicating you. We've got a $2.6 billion carbon tax. Shut up. Take your medicine. Take your brain damage. Shut up. Speaking of medical tyranny, here's the Herald Sun. Parents pimp kids for swine flu. And it says parents are enrolling children as young as 9 months in drug trials in exchange for hundreds of dollars. The cash payments, which could breach national ethical guidelines, will ignite debate over how much could be paid to cover reasonable expenses of trial participants. Think of the whole swine flu hoax, how dangerous the vaccine is. I've had the head of the EU Commission on admitting that the government was paid off to lie and say, take it. It's full of all sorts of mercury and toxins. Read the inserts. Here's another one. New York midwives lose right to deliver babies at home. A lot of people are having their children at home. I've seen the statistics. I was at a medical doctor's home this weekend. They talked about having their kids at home. And other people having their kids at home. And statistically, it's safer to have your child at home than at a hospital. They try to make you have a cesarean. They try to induce labor. They try to take control of your life in every facet of what you do. And I saw in the headlines again where they're setting up checkpoints, looking for people that have bought eggs or milk from farmers that are selling it. It's illegal to sell unpasteurized milk. Do you know what pasteurized cooked milk is? It's total heart attack gruel. Real milk is so good for you. You can't have that. But when it's boiled, when it's pasteurized, heated to, boiling point over and over again, it kills the pus, the blood, the feces from the dirty dairies. So the big agra lobbies so you can't get fresh milk. They give you basically liquid cheese. That's what milk is, but it's even more dead than cheese. Look at this. They're taking over every level of our lives so that we're fully dependent on government, and where any normal human activity, we're being domesticated, is illegal. As residents of the world's consumer capital, New Yorkers can have anything delivered to their door at any time. They can have their hair cut in the living room, have champagne and caviar rushed to them on a whim, enjoy a sushi massage in their own bed, or invite a clairvoyant to predict their future from tarot cards laid out on the kitchen table. But there's one thing that is currently unavailable for delivery to those who live in this most can-do of metropolises. Women cannot legally give birth at their home in the presence of a trained and experienced midwife. Look, men took control in Western medicine 200 years ago of births. And they tell you, lay on your back. How do they have babies in Sweden? or in Germany or in Africa or in China. They have birthing chairs with gravity. A woman squats on a chair and has a baby in an average of an hour. But they make a woman get on her back and have a baby on her back so they can medicalize it, and it takes on average more than 12 hours. They know you're supposed to have it in a birthing chair. They know you're supposed to squat and have that baby. They want to make money off of it. They want to control every stinking aspect, okay? How does a chicken lay an egg? It squats. How does a monkey have a monkey? It squats. How does a wolf have it? It squats. Or it lays on its side. I mean, again, everything is controlled. SWAT teams raiding people that sell eggs. SWAT teams raiding people that sell pumpkins and squash. SWAT teams. That's the new cocaine is an egg. God bless you all.